This is a continuation of earlier parts of Irwin 38 center cockpit. This boat was purchased from Florida, and it did have blisters. The blisters were ground out. The gel coat was peeled off, and the blisters were ground out. At that point in time, the boat was left to dry. Checked with a moisture meter. When the moisture content was the same above the waterline as below the waterline, then the blisters were repaired using polyester resin and chopped mat to replace the material that was ground away. There was a multitude of blisters, not very big. Some of them maybe about 3 inches in diameter. I'll come in close so you can see it. They were circled. There's one right there. I circled them to make it easier for me to spot. There's the bow thruster that was an earlier video that was made. Installing it, the bow thruster is now in and finished, other than the last final steps. The process, what I just completed now, at least first coat, is I rolled on an epoxy barrier coat. The gel coat was peeled down to the chopped mat, so it would dry, and that did occur. I just finished rolling on the first coat of epoxy, both sides. This epoxy is from Progressive. Let me come around to the other side. You get a better view. The epoxy is from Progressive, and it's made to use as a barrier coat. The first coat I put on was clear, and the second coat, they sell a pigment for it. The second coat will be white to kind of match the original gel coat so it can be replaced. So tomorrow today was a good day. We had about 60-degree weather. Rolled the epoxy on both sides other than where the jack stands are, and I'll do that tomorrow. The epoxy that I used, I'm going to come over here and show you the bottles. This is it here. It's part A and part B, no blush. You mix, I guess, 100% of one and 50% of the other. I mixed it in small containers. What I did was I used these Chinese soup containers because it was easy to measure out. The first time I made a full quart, and then the second one was and the other half was a smaller container. But then I realized that was really too much epoxy to mix at one time, and I was working too fast. So what I did was I reduced the amount to equivalent of the small container. So I had a little more. I had to mix more often, but it gave me, the work time. I didn't have to worry about it kicking before I was ready to, mix another batch up. So that came out good. So we're at the point right now. The second coat will be rolled tomorrow. I'll make a video of that. That will be the white. It will be. There's a pigment they use. Let me come over here again and show you the pigment. This is the pigment that they use for it, and it's a liquid pigment. And what you do is you mix it in the part A, and you don't use the whole bag, of course. This was enough for 3 gallons. You mix it until you get it opaque as you want it, but you don't use the whole thing for a gallon and a half. You just use enough of it to get it opaque. And then when you roll it on, of course, it is white. So this is, I just want to show you what I've done so far. Like I said, we did have some blisters and then were repaired. This is also the rudder assembly that I made an earlier video on. And we're in the process of finalizing that, and I'll show you that video. The continuation of that when I finally get to that level. So just wanted to update what it's like to peel and barrier coat an Irwin 38, 1978, from southern waters. It lived most of its life in the water. It was in the Carolinas first, and it moved to Florida. And typically most southern boats that live in the water, let me back up and give you a better view, tend to have blisters, and this certainly did. And I was aware of it when I purchased it, but I knew what I had to do to cure it, and that was done. So here's the boat. We're replacing the lifelines with solid lifelines, the upper railing. You can see that one there. That one's done already. I took the bow pulpit off because it had some areas I had to correct. There was a couple cracked welds on some of the stanchions, and I welded those a couple days ago, and that's ready to be mounted up. And that's about it for now until the next video for the continuation of the barrier coat, and that will be complete by tomorrow. And after that, the bottom will be rolled with bottom paint. The first coat will be a marker coat. It will be hard epoxy, and then the second coat will be abative, and that will be a different color. I think I have red and blue. The marker is going to be red, hard epoxy, and the abative will be a blue. So this way I could tell when the abative starts wearing away. That's it for now.